We asked you to consider the unique contributions of your communities to tech stewardship. Rather than discuss individual communities, let's consider one relevant aspect of the communities across a spectrum. Remember the quote from Jurassic Park, the essence of which was, "We were so preoccupied with considering can we do it that we didn't stop to ask, should we do it?" Going forward, we know we need to integrate the best of both can we do it and should we do it mentalities. One way to do this is to reflect on where our different communities tend to lie on a spectrum between the two mentalities. Can we do it fields excel at tech development and play a central role in the process of creating and applying technology. On this side of the spectrum, we find professions like engineering, computer science, other applied sciences, and business. Businesses in general tend to fall on this side of the spectrum, in particular, innovation and entrepreneurship communities, and geographies like Silicon Valley. And typical strengths of these fields include an action orientation and focused problem solving. Should we do it fields excel at tech stewardship and play a critical role in understanding and guiding the impacts of tech. On this side of the spectrum, we find fields like philosophy, critical media studies, anthropology, and other humanities and social sciences. The government and nonprofit sectors tend to fall on this side of the spectrum, and the work of policy and regulation. We can also consider the classic example of Quaker communities and their famous interrogation of new technologies. Typical strengths of these communities include a reflective orientation and consideration of the broader and complex impacts of technology. There are also some communities that fall naturally in the middle of the spectrum, which allows them to help bridge between the can we do it and should we do it fields and strengths. For example, the professions of architecture or city planning. Should we do it values and strengths tend to naturally dominate in many communities. However, at a societal level, we are currently biased towards emphasizing can we do it over should we do it. And too often communities value either can we do it or should we do it values and strengths to the exclusion of the other. Going forward, we need to get the best of both can we do it and should we do it in various community contexts. And this is exactly what the practice of tech stewardship is all about. Thankfully, we are already seeing examples of the shift happening. For example, many traditionally can we do it tech companies in Silicon Valley that used to hire almost exclusively engineers, computer scientists, and business people, in recent years have also begun hiring social scientists like philosophers and anthropologists. If you're in a should we do it community, introducing the concept of tech stewardship can help you to personally engage more of the strengths of can we do it thinking and help support engagement with your can we do it colleagues and collaborators. For those of us in the can we do it communities, the opportunity is to open ourselves up more to the should we do it communities and strengths. In order to do this, we need to address a common root obstacle within the can we do it communities, which is that these communities often do not spend a lot of time critically reflecting about the nature of their community and its impacts. This is actually the flip side of a strength. We're practical problem solvers. We don't have time for all that philosophical stuff. However, can we do it communities are increasingly realizing that technology is not neutral, but rather is value laden. And that technology does not just mean digital and new things, but includes all of the digital, physical, biological, and even social means by which we adapt our environments. This expanded understanding about the nature of technology is leading to an expanded awareness of the true outcomes associated with the technologies we are helping to develop, and how these outcomes are or are not resulting in benefit for all. Expanding our understanding of the outcomes of technology naturally leads to questions about the process of developing technology and what should be included in the process. As we realize that seeking benefit for all requires us to navigate value tensions, this highlights the need for more participatory and democratic approaches to be incorporated into the process of developing technology. This in turn leads to an expansion of how we understand the possible contributions of can we do it leaning individuals to the process and outcomes of technology. All of this expansion by can we do it communities creates space for tech stewardship strengths to be brought into the mix, and opens more space for partnership with should we do it leaning individuals and communities. Let's take an example. The Engineering Change Lab has spent a lot of time thinking about the role of the engineering profession. Engineering is most certainly a can-we-do-it leaning profession. As is typical for such professions, we found that in the average engineer's education and career path, there's not a lot of critical reflection about the nature of engineering itself. And this is leading to an underestimation by many engineers and engineering organizations of both their responsibility and potential as tech stewards. The Engineering Change Lab found that understandings of engineering are typically overly narrow in practice. Engineers apply science to build things, and somehow the further you get from performing calculations for a bridge design in a dark room, the less it's real engineering. On the other hand, promotional rhetoric about engineering is often problematically broad. Engineers are problem solvers and engineering is a mindset. But you could apply these descriptions to most professions. For example, doctors and lawyers have distinct mindsets and solve problems too, just different types of problems and mindsets. Recognizing the confusion around the simple question, what is engineering? The Engineering Change Lab proposes the following understanding of engineering, which helps illuminate the potential of engineers as tech stewards. If we think of engineering as the process of creating and applying artifact-based technologies or object-based technologies, whether they be physical, digital, or biological. And if we think of technology as the means by which humans adapt our environments to meet our needs or wants, then engineers are people who play a distinct role in driving and supporting the engineering process. Whether you're an engineer or not, one of our core commitments as tech stewards is to advance understanding. This means coming back to deepen our understanding of basic questions like, what communities do I belong to? What is the nature of these communities? And what are the unique opportunities of these communities when it comes to tech stewardship?